and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Monica. I like to post anti-MLM, that's anti-multi-level marketing, life, and some true crime content here on this channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. In today's video, I am bringing you it's not necessarily anti-MLM, but it is linked to MLM in a sense because it is talking about personal development, self-help, that kind of a thing. Of course, this is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do your own research. Do not stop your research at just my video. Thank you to Joey for becoming a patron, and as usual, thank you so much to all of you who watch my videos for free. Let's get into the video. So today we're going to be talking about Choice Center, or also known as the Choice Leadership University. Whatever you want to call it. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be calling it Choice Center. It's just easier for me. To anyone who is going to watch this and tell me that I can't talk about this company or these courses because I've never tried them before, this is flawed logic, and here's why. If we're going to follow that logic, an example that I have used multiple times in my DMs or talking in the comment section or something like that, which most of the time the original poster deletes their comment so it's not there, but I digress, is a doctor. So if we want to look at a doctor, in my case, let's look at my neurologist who prescribes me anti-seizure medication. If you're new here, I have epilepsy, but he doesn't have epilepsy. So with the logic that some of these people are using in their arguments, that would mean that I'm going to completely disregard his research and education as a neurologist and not take my medication because he's never experienced a seizure before, nor has he tried this medication. So how could he know that this medication is actually going to help me? So does this mean that I'm going to completely discredit his research and tell him that he can't speak on the topic of epilepsy and seizures with other patients or peers, maybe even at seminars if he's speaking at them, because he doesn't have epilepsy himself? Do you see how ridiculous this sounds? Please don't use that argument. I'm all for a healthy debate, so keep it, I guess you could say, healthy in the comment section below. If you have sources to back up what you're saying, leave them as well. I would be very interested in looking at them. Don't use ad hominems because that's just going to shut down your argument or the discussion right away, so just don't use that. What I find interesting is the frequently asked questions page has one question that says, is this a cult? So is Choice Center a cult or just a very expensive personal development course? Before we go over the company though, let's just slightly touch on what personal development is for those who aren't familiar with it. Personal development consists of activities that develop a person's capabilities and potential, build human capital, facilitate employability, and enhance quality of life and the realization of dreams and aspirations. It can take place over the course of a person's entire lifespan. It is not limited to self-help, but can involve formal and informal activities for developing others in roles such as those of teacher, guide, counselor, manager, coach, or mentor. When personal development takes place in the context of institutions, it refers to the methods, programs, tools, techniques, and assessment systems offered to support positive adult development at the individual level in organizations. Personal development is supposed to help a person improve their self-awareness, build up their self-esteem and identity, find their strengths, along with helping them improve their career or overall health. In my opinion, I think personal development can and has been helpful for some, but I do believe others have used it in more of a toxic way. If you're new to my channel, I create a lot of anti-MLM content, and personal development is very heavily pushed within these business models. Sometimes MLM uplines will tell their downlines that if they're failing in their business, they need to go read some more personal development and work on themselves. They're not giving them real tools on how to build their business. I was told to read personal development every single day. It's almost as if you're not a good person before you enter the MLM, or you're not a good person before you start reading this kind of material. It can get to the point where it's no longer just a harmless personal or self-development book meant to help you feel a little bit more motivated. That point is where toxic positivity comes into play. When my landmark forum video came out, I had someone trying to argue toxic positivity with me and saying that what I was saying in the video was toxic negativity, which made me laugh a little bit to myself, but I don't think that they truly understood what toxic positivity is. In that video, I mentioned a little bit about what it is, but I found a really great article that I will leave linked below that I wanted to go over in this video. Toxic positivity doesn't mean that you can't be positive at all. What the phrase toxic positivity means is the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state across all situations. The process of toxic positivity results in the denial of minimization and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. In simpler terms, the whole positive vibes only phrase may be doing more harm than good. As human beings, we aren't programmed to only have one emotion. We have a multitude of different emotions, and saying that we can only be positive takes away from our existence and our ability to learn and grow in life. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that not everything is going to be sunshines, rainbows, and unicorns. It's not going to be magical every single day. You're going to have bad days, but you should learn how to cope with those bad days rather than just saying, it could be worse, or positive vibes only, no negativity in my space. As long as I have no negativity, I'll be fine. With doing these types of things, you're invalidating your own emotions. Suppressing your other emotions can cause you more stress, and you're just in denial at that point. It's kind of similar to someone who keeps things bottled up or puts on a brave face and then one day just explodes because of that straw that broke the camel's back. While having a positive attitude and outlook can be great, because being a pessimist isn't healthy either, but you need to be realistic. I may be cynical towards personal development. I do know many people who have gotten a lot out of reading self-help books here and there, but something that concerns me when it comes to personal development is some people who really need to seek out professional help might use these types of seminars or courses as their therapy, and I do think that's where personal development can do more harm than good. In addition to that, because of how low one's self-esteem can be, the personal development or self-help industry can really take advantage of that and capitalize off of one's vulnerabilities. A great example, in my opinion, is Rachel Hollis. And if you want to watch some great Rachel Hollis content, I'll leave a playlist link below by Savvy Writes Books, because Savvy has gone into a lot of deep dives when it comes to Rachel Hollis. But Rachel capitalized off of MLM reps and wrote these self-help books along with even speaking at some of their conferences.
Okay, who has someone right now in their life that's actively judging them? What? Your sister? Okay, your sister's judging you for what? For doing this business. Anyone have someone in their life who's close to them who's doing this, who's judging them? And why do you care? You love her. Does she love you? Then why wouldn't she want the best for you? Do you feel like she is judging you because she's scared that you're changing? Because she doesn't understand what you're actually doing? Okay. Because that is the story of your entire life, right? Your entire life, she got to have significance because she did better than you. And it's not, there's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her. We can love her and appreciate her. But by God, Natasha, she is not going to keep you from being the woman that you're meant to be.
Rachel, you are not a licensed therapist.
She praised MLM reps for what they were doing, but then in a recent book, she turned around and said to figure out ways to make money without going on the internet and asking for new ways to make some income by buying into something. And most people, myself included, took that as her talking about the MLM industry. But she follows it by saying, quote, "Don't be dumb," end quote. Rachel could have easily said that she changed her stance on MLMs without insulting the very people who made her a bestseller. And this is coming from someone who is very anti-multi-level marketing and someone who does not agree with that structure. And I did not agree with what Rachel Hollis was doing when she was basically praising these MLM companies, and I still find it wrong. But now that you have a little bit of a brief overview on personal development and toxic positivity, let's talk about the company Choice Center. So Choice Center is essentially a large group awareness training, or otherwise known as LGAT, mixed with some one-on-one training as well. They are based in Las Vegas, and this led me to find an article regarding Las Vegas and MLM companies. While it is mostly opinion-based, I did want to talk a little bit about the one paragraph. And it starts off with why Nevada is a good MLM company home. Nevada is a great place to visit. One of the most desired places to visit in the United States is Las Vegas and is host to many MLM events every year. This is because Vegas is very exciting and it has the appeal of a lot of wealth. In the author's research, he did say that he believed most MLM companies flock to Utah due to their lower taxes for businesses, but with Choice Center possibly exhibiting thought reform according to some testimonials, can they be using their location as a way to lure people in, especially because a lot of MLM companies hold their events there? That I can't answer, but it is a good discussion to have. I know that might be a little bit of a reach, but if casinos control their temperatures and things of that nature for their patrons to spend more money, maybe this location for Choice Center is a little more strategic than we think. Choice Center offered adult and teen personal development and leadership courses. Side note, there are videos from about 10 years ago of some of the participants from the teen program, and while I won't be sharing them in this video, you can find them, and if you do, their testimonies are very robotic and worded in a mature manner, almost like an adult wrote it. I don't know, it just seemed a little suspicious to me. The company was founded by a woman named Robin Williams. Robin is also the CEO, and according to the site, a leader in the field of emotional quotient, or EQ, personal development and leadership training designed for people in pursuit of personal excellence who want to take their lives to the next level of success. It says that Robin is professionally trained in leadership and business development. However, her LinkedIn doesn't show any of her education, and when I look online, I can't find that information out. So if anyone does find this, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll make a pinned comment. I will say that Robin is highly impressive if we look at her clientele. It includes anyone from organizations, corporations, and governments throughout the US, along with an NBA team owner, multiple Fortune 500 C-level executives, resort owners, entrepreneurs, restaurant owners, investment bankers, developers, doctors, spa owners, among many others. Since 1998, all of these clients have been generated by referral. However, I do believe that if she's creating these courses and if she's teaching these courses to these higher status people, I mean an NBA team owner, along with part of the United States government, if all of this is actually factual, I can see why she would only have to use word of mouth marketing, because these people, these organizations, corporations, they have very, very large networks. So I'm not shocked that she's only been using word of mouth advertising, but I would be curious to know if any MLM companies or MLM uplines have encouraged their reps to go to this kind of a personal development course, because when I was in the MLM, I never heard about this, but that doesn't mean that other people haven't heard about it. Anyway, Choice Center offers these courses using experiential learning to elevate emotional intelligence, but also otherwise referred to as EQ, which is the single biggest factor in determining success in life. Their leadership classes are supposedly tailored to achieve your goals, and you'll learn how to make those dreams a reality by working with a personal coach for 100 days in leadership legacy. On their site, they do mention a Harvard Business Review that talked about studies that have shown one with a high EQ boosts career success, entrepreneurial potential, leadership talent, health, relationship satisfaction, humor, and happiness. This study also showed that people with a higher EQ are more rewarding to deal with. There was a comment that I've received on a recent video talking about how the commenter, the person that commented, worked with higher executives within the corporate environment. and how it's important to keep things positive in order for the workplace to be pleasant and to kind of work better and everything. And I do agree with that, but there is a difference between being optimistic and having a positive attitude as opposed to the toxic positivity that I just spoke about a little bit earlier. With Choice Center, they say that you'll be engaged in a variety of activities and exercises that create a direct experience followed by reflection and feedback, which increases knowledge, develops your skills, and clarifies values. Similar to how you learn to ride a bike or swim, experiential learning lasts a lifetime. Very few of us have the ability to memorize a barrage of facts and retain it for a lifetime, but we remember our experiences. That's because experiential learning allows you to make discoveries and experiment with knowledge yourself instead of hearing or reading about the experiences of others. The outcome is a development of new skills, attitudes, behaviors, creative thinking, and ways of being that you adapt quickly and retain longer. Many people don't realize change can happen in an instant, but it can. We just need the awareness, the tools, the coaching, and the commitment to choose it. Choice Center graduates have such extraordinary results so quickly because our curriculum is a highly developed and proven technology. Choice Center does give back, so if you remember in my Swarovski video, I talked about a post from Haley O'Brien, although her Instagram handle is now Counselor Haley, that brought up how just because an MLM or any other company for that matter donates to a cause of some sort does not make them a better company for doing so. Always keep that in mind and always look at how much they are donating. How much of this is going into their own pockets? Do they write it off at the end of the year when they do their taxes? So that's just something to keep in mind. Their website does say that they donate to Homestead, St. Jude's, Habitat for Humanity, and many more. According to their website, each of their classes raises $100,000, but I'd really love to see a breakdown showing the exact percentages of those proceeds, especially once we go over the prices of these classes a little bit later, because they're over $1,000. Well, not all of them, but most of them are over $1,000. But before we do, let's talk about how these courses work. Their website says that the journey starts with their Discovery and Breakthrough course, where you're supposed to boost your EQ and discover endless possibility. You're supposed to make your own plan that talks about your goals that you want to achieve within the next 100 days. They do assign you a coach that's supposed to be a life or kind of like an accountability coach as well. I do wonder though if all of these coaches are certified or if they are just trained through Choice Center. Choice Center says that your relationship with your coach and team of coaches is invaluable. Their signature classes are supposed to master your skills, create abundance, strengthen relationships, and supercharge your business. They not only offer these personal courses, but they do offer corporate workshops. I wanted to go over their frequently asked questions page because, as I said in the intro, one of the questions on that page asks if Choice Center is a cult. In my opinion, if you have to put this on your website as a frequently asked question, I do find that to be a little bit of a red flag and a little bit concerning. It kind of reminds me of how MLM reps have to constantly defend their MLM and say that it's not a pyramid scheme. I'm not accusing Choice Center of being a cult just because they get asked this question a lot, but according to some testimonials, not all, but some, it seems like there might be some kind of merit to this question being asked so much. If you think about it, if someone is essentially cleansing your negative thoughts and changing your perspective, instead of doing what a professional would do, and that is to tackle the underlying issue, that is a little worrisome. It seems like this course is just surface level. It's not getting to the root cause of the issue or the problem. Let's chat a little bit about the Choice Center's frequently asked questions page. What is Choice Center? Choice Center Leadership University is a leader in personal development and leadership training, as well as business and life coaching. Courses are designed for high performers wishing to elevate their quality of life and reach the next level of success. We are renowned for our Leadership Legacy program that pairs students with a personal coach for 100 days to support you in creating your dream life. Leadership Legacy also includes weekly community service for individuals through Give or Game and a 7 to 14-day team service project aimed at producing inconceivable outcomes under extreme time constraints. What is experiential learning? Athletes work with coaches to improve their performance. They run game film to see what adjustments can be made to produce bigger and bigger results. Every level of achievement is a stepping stone to the next level. Win the game, then the division title, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, then 5 championships in a row. Hiring a coach for your personal and professional goals is no different. Together, you will run the game film on how you're performing in your business, relationships, finances, community, health and wellness, and course correct and stretch yourself to achieve your maximum results. What is discovery and breakthrough? Choice Center's personal development curriculum is one course divided into 3 parts: discovery, breakthrough, and leadership. Discovery is an experiential workshop in which you will have an opportunity to discover the underlying beliefs, systems, and views that determine your experiences and results in life. You will begin choosing behaviors and actions consistent with your vision for your life that will produce a profound shift in how you view and relate to yourself and others, allowing you to reach your goals with less effort and stress. Breakthrough is an intensive, breakthrough-oriented workshop that offers the opportunity to overcome past and present circumstances to accomplish the extraordinary. Breakthrough will support you to let go of past limitations and belief systems, connect you fully to your authentic self, transform your relationship with fear, and access full self-expression, freedom, and personal power to create powerful results. What is the Leadership Legacy program? Leadership Legacy is designed to integrate the skills and insights of discovery and breakthrough into your daily life so you can achieve sustainable success and a life that inspires you. Your life is the classroom in this 100-day intensive training where you receive daily personal coaching to achieve quantum leap results, both personally and professionally. This fast-paced leadership environment focuses on living from vision and intention, creating extraordinary personal results, making a difference through community service and teamwork, and leaving a legacy by transforming yourself and others. Of course, I'm not going to go over all of the frequently asked questions, so I am kind of skipping through, but if you want to take a look at it, I'll leave their website link below. How many training days are included in my tuition? There are a total of 20 in-classroom training days and 100 days of personal coaching included in your tuition. Discovery is 3 evenings and a weekend. Breakthrough is 4 days. Leadership includes 3 3-day weekends. Your 3rd weekend of leadership includes an out-of-town retreat, and your tuition covers your food and lodging for 2 evenings and 3 days. Additionally, leadership includes approximately 12 experiential learning modules that are delivered on Tuesday evenings. You can participate via telephone if you live out of town for these 2-hour mini workshops. They do talk about how if friends and family don't tell you more specifics about the training, that they apologize for them being weird. Yes, they actually use that wording on their website. And that they say that they encourage people to talk about their experiences, but to just not give out specifics as to what they do behind the scenes. And of course, this was my favorite question, was, is Choice Center a cult? And their response was, one of our favorite questions and one that makes us laugh just a little. The American Heritage Dictionary describes a cult as a religion or religious sect generally considered to be extremist or false, with its followers often living in an unconventional manner under the guidance of an authoritarian, charismatic leader. Which I do think that the definition for cult should be updated because, in my opinion, this definition that they have on their website is the extreme of a cult. I do think that cults can be a little less extreme than if you think of Branch Davidians or if you think of something like that. But the rest of their response says, unlike Jim Jones or Oprah or Tony Robbins for that matter. So are they calling Tony Robbins or Tiny Robbins or Tiny Ribbons, as autocorrect has had me start calling him? Are they calling him a cult leader along with Oprah? Interesting. Choice Center doesn't promote a singular charismatic leader for others to follow. Our star is the curriculum itself. We're not religious and no one lives at the center, well, except maybe our COO, who is known for working many a late night and napping on her couch. Cults aim to remove choices from their followers and often ask members to separate from their families. Choice Center is all about showing students how many choices they have in life they may currently recognize, and we stand for bringing families closer together. Whatever you want to be bigger at, we coach you to achieve it. If you want to be the best religious leader or business owner or stay-at-home mom or school teacher or real estate mogul or entrepreneur or athlete, we will show you the tools and coach you to create that dream life. We don't judge or limit your choices. You tell us what you want, and it is our job to partner with you to bring it to reality faster than you imagined you could. While Choice Center giggles, as they said, when people ask if it's a cult, and they describe the bare minimum of what a cult is and what they encourage you to do, but I do find it really funny that they mentioned Tony Robbins. Let's look at a few things off of Stephen Hassan's BITE model, which stands for Behavior, Information, Thought, and Emotional Control. These are a few bullet points from the BITE model that I wanted to reference, and I'm sure there are more that apply to Choice Center. I just don't want this video to be over an hour long. In addition, I have never participated in one of these courses, so I can't speak from experience, and while we do have a few testimonials, I don't know how legitimate those sources are or if they're just a few opinions here and there. So with that said, I just don't want to speculate. Financial exploitation, manipulation, or dependence. I mean, I think this is pretty self-explanatory when it comes to financial exploitation with how expensive these courses are, along with having to pay for all of your travel expenses. I know the one answer to one of the questions we've already gone over talks about how for some of it, your tuition covers some of your lodging and everything, but you still have to keep in mind if you're flying in or if you're coming to Las Vegas, you still have to think about taking time off from work and things of that nature. So I do think that there is a little bit of financial exploitation happening here, but that's just my opinion. Use of loaded language and cliches which constrict knowledge, stop critical thoughts, and reduce complexities into buzzwords. I do think this does apply here because a lot of people will start reading about EQ and about how Robin is a trained professional and how she has such a great clientele, but will they actually look into her? I tried to find if she really was truly certified or if she did further her education in any field, and I just cannot find that information. The website talks about all of these studies by the Harvard Review. So a lot of people will look at that and think that this company really knows what it's talking about and that they are very well versed in this. But if I can't find where the founder and CEO got certified and it's not even on her LinkedIn profile, that makes me side-eye it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Encourage only good and proper thoughts. This falls into the toxic positivity that I was speaking about earlier that is very common within personal development. There are a few things on the BITE model that talk about hypnotic techniques and chanting or meditating in order to teach thought-stopping techniques or undermine critical thinking, which I'm not sure if this goes on behind the scenes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Rejection of rational analysis, critical thinking, constructive criticism. This is what I was talking about earlier, how people aren't able to have a discussion with someone who doesn't agree with a company like this. They immediately go into attack mode and go after a person's character or try to discredit them. This happens to me all the time with a lot of my videos. Just on a recent video about, well, not really that recent, it's kind of an old video at this point, but with Navetica, I had a comment that said, this isn't an expert opinion and you're just really anti-MLM, so you're always going to hate MLMs. And the thing is that I have given props to MLM companies when credit is due. I have done that, but I've never called myself an expert. And whenever I do a lot of these deep dives, I'll mention that you should do your own research. You shouldn't just stop at my video. But the reps or people who cannot take the constructive criticism, they'll immediately take it as I'm attacking them. And that's not the case. I've had people try to discredit me and tell me that I'm not educated enough in business and that I can't speak on this. But the thing is that first of all, it doesn't take rocket science to be able to go onto the internet and look these things up and research these companies and find sources and things of that nature. But I do have an education. I did further my education. But again, that doesn't make me any smarter or any more of an expert, if you really want to call it that, than someone who doesn't have a degree in business or doesn't have a degree in anything like this, or just graduated high school or didn't graduate high school at all. It doesn't make someone better or worse than anybody else. That's the point that I'm trying to get across here. There are a lot more frequently asked questions that are on their website, which I do encourage you to go ahead and read them on your own time. But Moving on to the pricing of these courses, because as I said, they're expensive. At least for me, I think that they're expensive for me. I wouldn't be willing to spend this kind of money. But what I do want to mention is that you need to keep in mind that this is just the price of the course. As the one answer stated on their website, that your tuition covers some of your lodging, but keep in mind that there's more expenses attached to this than just the tuition itself. And I'm not going to lie, when I was looking at the courses, the men's retreat just reminds me of when Savvy from Savvy Writes Books and I did our collab on Tony Robbins, Tiny Ribbons, whatever you guys want to call them, and how he was telling someone in the audience to roar like a damn lion, and that would help his sex life somehow. Yes, I highly recommend watching our collab on that because that was really interesting. But let's go over some of these courses. The first one is called Journey Within 9. It's showing that it's $2,750, but that the tuition is going to increase on December 31st to $3,750. So it's going up $1,000 at the end of this year, basically. It's a 6-month transformational process that picks up where leadership left off. In LP, the focus was on achieving extraordinary goals. In Journey Within, the pursuit is on creating an extraordinary life of joy, inner peace, harmony, and self-acceptance, otherwise known as wholeness. I'm not going to go into each one in full depth because that could be a whole entire video on its own, just going over their courses. But the next one is the Essential EQ Personal Development and Living Leadership. The price is $2,797, and this is talking about the discovery, breakthrough, leadership, that kind of a thing. But this is the personal development and leadership courses that are designed to have you create extraordinary results in all areas of your life. This is also the prerequisite course to take for their signature classes. In Discovery and Breakthrough, you will explore and break through the beliefs that limit you in business relationships, yada, yada, yada. We already went over this before. The Teen Leadership Program, and that one is $595. So this one isn't as expensive as all of the other ones, but it is $595. Ecstasy of Relationships and the Secret to Lasting Love is to fall for yourself first. The price for this is $395, so it's not as expensive as the rest of them, but it does say that you need a prerequisite for attending Ecstasy of Relationships, and that is the completion of Discovery and Breakthrough modules. Then the other ones are along the same pricing as the ones I mentioned previously, and the men's retreat is $1,444. This is a modern rite of passage for men who are ready to take full ownership of their masculine power. For thousands of years, men have gone into the wilderness to find out who they truly are and what they're truly made of. That's why the 4 days of the men's retreat take place not in the classroom, but in the mountains and the desert, far from paved roads, cell phones, the internet, and other everyday distractions. In the men's retreat, you'll be challenged to bring forth 100% of your potential as a man. You can read that on your own time, but again, as I said before, it reminds me of Tony Robbins and the whole roaring like a lion to better your sex life, but that's just my opinion. Of course, I do want to share some testimonials. I'm going to be sharing the good and the bad testimonials. The one is a video that I stumbled upon on YouTube. It is 10 years old, so because of that, I don't know if this person still stands by what they said. So I will be covering their face just in case that they don't stand by this statement anymore, because they haven't been active on YouTube in quite some time. So I'm not sure if they just forgot about their channel, if they don't post on their channel, or if they just wanted to get out a couple of videos and that's it. So I am going to be covering their face, and then there's something that she says in the video that I want to go over.
A leadership course, personal development and leadership course at Choice Center in Las Vegas back in June. Since then, I've been doing the leadership program part, which is a 100-day journey that includes daily personal coaching on how to create extraordinary results in my life. So during this process, I created a personal strategic plan with goals to have finished by the end of the 100 days. So the first of those 3 goals was to grow our real estate team to 10 individuals, agents, administrators, and leaders on our team. The second was to complete my book on anxiety and panic attacks, and a health goal. And then the last one was to go on 10 dates with new guys that I didn't know before the training. I spent the past 100 days on the first goal writing about my experiences with anxiety and panic, and also reading a lot of books for research for that book. I started obviously with Blair and I on our real estate team, and now we have 7 other agents and a new administrator on our team as well. And aside from that, I have been exercising and taking care of my body more so than I ever have before. I attended some sort of workout class 4 days a week, with the exception of cardio on the days I either wasn't in town or couldn't attend a class. And also, of course, began eating healthy. And yes, of course, I have cheated and had a couple glasses of wine and, dessert every once in a while. So I am human. But it's been pretty committed to these goals. And I'm happy to say I've successfully achieved all of these goals. My team and I also committed and completed a community service project by raising $123,861.43 in just 7 days for Easter seals in Las Vegas. So I was introduced to Choice Center by a friend here about 2 years ago, and that had also done the training, and he told me that the training would be very helpful in dealing with my anxiety issues. At the time, it had pretty much consumed my life, around 6 months ago. And the founder, Robin Williams, she and the rest of the team asked me what would have me want to take this course. And I told them that I wanted my life back from anxiety and panic that I couldn't control and I didn't understand. Even after therapy and medicine and all of the above, it was something I still was struggling with and was consuming my life. So I wanted to be free of that and have my self-confidence back in all areas of my life, to be a highly functioning citizen and be able to achieve the goals I wanted to achieve. So I explained the crippling anxiety to my friend Ed, who told me that this training would probably help me in a lot more ways than just with that, but that it would definitely bring some awareness to how it would change my outlook on my anxiety and basically stop fighting it and let it be a part of who I am. Definitely the training has exceeded all the expectations I had. I went there with a clear intention of really identifying what causes my anxiety and panic, and I came out with so much more than that. So because of Choice Center's curriculum and the self-development work I've done there in the past few months, I can honestly say, I feel like a free person, a very different person. And it has totally transformed my life in more ways than I can count. I feel free and able to let go of my limiting beliefs from, over time of things that I couldn't do or couldn't achieve, and got in the mindset of 100% is possible 100% of the time. So learning the importance of taking risks and the opportunities that are really possible for me.
Now, you can take what you will from that testimonial, but there was something that she talked about in this video that immediately made me think of something. If you've been here on my channel for a bit, probably sounded a little familiar when she talked about limiting beliefs. Doesn't that kind of sound like the Beachbody coach that I reacted to back in March?
Even think about it, unless you want me to call you out on it, on calling network marketing a pyramid scheme, or telling people that the market is too oversaturated, because those are straight up lies, and those are limiting beliefs, and those are things that you've told yourself or you've heard from someone else who failed at this. And I would much rather someone just say, it wasn't for me, and move on. But don't go out saying this stuff to people, because it's just a reflection on your lack of success. Own your lack of success. Who cares? It isn't for everyone. But don't prevent other people from being a part of something that can literally change their lives. And one of the things that has driven me crazy over 6 years is when I hear from people, the market is saturated. Really? Really?
So do you see how this personal development kind of a thing migrates into MLMs, because they are saying similar things? That's something I wanted to mention. I may be reaching, and some people might say that I'm overanalyzing, and that might very well be the case, but I did just want to talk about that. Hey guys, Editing Monica here. If the woman in the testimonial really has been doing well in life and the course did help her crippling anxiety, then I'm very happy for her. However, this is what worries me about these types of courses, because if someone with a diagnosed or undiagnosed mental illness comes across this testimonial and decides not to seek out professional help, that is very concerning to me. Please speak with a professional before you go to one of these courses and think it's going to substitute actual therapy. As I said in the intro of this video, there were testimonials of other teens that joined the teen leadership program that talked about their experience on YouTube. I'm not going to play their videos, even though by this point in time, if they weren't lying about their age, they are definitely adults by this time because of how old the videos are. But I just don't want to put their faces as minors in my video. You can search for them online. But their videos were so incredibly scripted. Now I get having a script, because I have a script for all of my videos. I can't remember all of this in my brain. I can't. But they sounded as if an adult wrote them. It's fine if you want to say things and get your point across and read off of a script so that you remember every single point you want to say. But it just sounded way too mature for a teenager. The wording, the way that the sentences were structured, it just didn't sound like it was a genuine thing coming from them. And it was just those couple of teens that I found. I haven't seen any recent teen testimonials, I guess you can say. They did talk about how they had a good experience and they had a positive experience. Whether they were being genuine or not, I don't know. But I do want to go over some bad testimonials. I'm not going to cover all of them, because a lot of them have really long testimonials and they talk about it from start to finish. And I do recommend that if you are looking into joining this Choice Center personal development course thing, highly recommend reading those testimonials as well, because like I said, I'm not going to go through all of them. But the one testimonial that I found was on Reddit. Yes, I know it's Reddit. It's not a legitimate source, but let's talk about it. I have a friend who was enrolled by one of his friends into an LGAT in Las Vegas, Nevada, called Choice Leadership University. Since joining, he has changed in a strange way. Not necessarily in a I have come to peace with the world, but more of a fake-like love for everything. It seems like brainwashing and psychological disillusionment. He is attempting to sign me and my girlfriend up. It feels like a pyramid scheme or something. I am not sure if it is a cult or not. I'm wondering if anyone knows anything about it that a Google search, as I have done a few, cannot drum up. The response to this was, it is a cult. Not quite full-fledged cult in the sense that they don't make you ascribe to their religion, and the leader, Robin something or other, really isn't all that charismatic. It's on their frequently asked questions page. Is Choice Center a cult? They cite the reasons stated above as their support of a non-cult status. My dad went through it, completely changed as a human being. They made him do all sorts of weird shit, and it is most definitely a pyramid scheme. There are aspects of sleep deprivation, humiliation, dressing up as Cupid in a diaper on the Fremont Street experience, and even a rebirth ceremony complete with the release of doves. Avoid it at all costs. Watch and see. Your friend will get preachy, start using weird language. You're playing the victim. What can I do to support you in your time of need? My impression of you is, all of which sound innocuous, but they're said repetitively and in a condescending and accusatory way, and will continue to recruit you and others. The last testimonial that I'm going to go over, I'm just going to briefly skim over it, but I will leave everything linked below so that you can read it on your own time, because it is kind of a long read. Well, not really too long, but I don't want to read the entire thing in this video. So anyway, let's get into that one. The investigator Jill recently attended the Las Vegas-based school. A friend paid her $2,700 entry fee, the Choice Center course, a 100-day training. From the moment she walked into the windowless training room with 100 participants, the Star Wars theme song blasting, to the graduation, Jill describes her experience as frightening, exhausting, and cult-like. Video cameras in the room recorded every move. A panel of coaches sat in the back of the room to evaluate students. Jill's formal education includes psychology, criminology, and work as an investigator, so she took careful notice of the program's curriculum. Rules included no drug use, no smoking, no drinking, no sex, no gambling, and no entering into a new relationship until 30 days after the training. Men had to shave all facial hair. Next, participants had to walk up to all strangers and say, 1, I trust you, 2, I don't trust you, or 3, I don't know yet, Jill explains. This next portion, I am going to issue a trigger warning, so if I'm giving you enough time right now to kind of pause it and fast forward, because it's going to talk about abuse and assault. Participants had to announce secrets. Some recounted horrific child abuse and sexual assault. Others had severe family issues. There were no professional therapists, counselors, or doctors to assist these trauma survivors during the course. Jill recalls staff telling the participants, "We are your family and friends for life, and we love you. We'll always love you." If students wanted to quit, coaches and participants would encircle the quitter as a group and beg them to stay. There seems to be much screaming involved in experiential learning. Exercises include standing and screaming at the top of your lungs, and another exercise where 2 students, nose to nose, take turns screaming, "What do you want?" repeatedly at one another. In one session, feedback arch, one person stands in front of a group and the person gets screamed at about what is wrong with them. Coaches assist and encourage the screaming. Jill describes the participants, including herself, sleep-deprived, starving, dehydrated, and covered in sweat, she explains. Temperatures in the room were changed drastically. Lights went from dim to bright, and music blasted at intervals, all of it purposely. During the break, students were to keep a vow of silence. Jill says the program involves sleep and food deprivation. Courses would end at 1 a.m. and then copious amounts of homework had to be completed. The usual bathing and prepping for the next day and mandatory attendance resumed at about 10 a.m. for the emotionally and physically drained participants. Participants were allowed to purchase and bring their drinks and light snacks, but only water was allowed in the training room. Being allowed to go to dinner, but only in their power groups, included a Choice Center coach. Constructive criticism was always part of dinner. Each person required to tell the other, "How you show up to me is," then you had to say something negative, Jill explains. Jill did experience some positive experiences like the hug line, where all of the classes met to give one another a hug and positive reinforcement. It felt good after being torn down repeatedly. Part 2 of the course is Breakthrough, and Breakthrough differed from Discovery. The psychological, physical, mental, and emotional abuse is much greater. Jill recalls shortened breaks, food, water, and sleep deprivation intensified. Only this time, they are going to verbally abuse participants. An exercise called Lifeboat had participants lying on the floor in a darkened room. And I'm going to stop that testimonial there because there is a lot more to the testimonial, and I think that that's enough to kind of prove the point of why so many people call Choice Center a cult and why a lot of people there's a little worrisome type of a thing about it, but you can form your own opinion of what you think of Choice Center given the information that I was able to find, given these testimonials, or maybe you even had your own experience with it. After being in an MLM and having personal development so heavily pushed onto me, I can never look at personal development the same again. However, judging by some of these testimonials and research that I've done, I do believe that there might be something a little bit more sinister about this course. That's just my opinion. I do think that if it's not actually a cult, it can, in the least bit, be exploiting people's vulnerabilities for the company's financial gain. It's only surface level, and it's not getting to the root cause of the issue as a professional would do. I do find companies like this one to be concerning because I hope that people seek out professional help before using this as therapy and hoping that this is going to help them get through whatever trauma they have from their life or anything like that. And I think that that's one of the reasons that I have such an issue with personal development, because I've heard people talk about trauma, and I've heard people talk about, and this is anywhere really, and they thank these personal development programs, they thank these MLM companies for helping them with such severe mental health illnesses or even just issues in their life. And I really truly hope that people seek out professional help before they go to something like this. And that's just my opinion. That is just what I think of everything. I know that this video was kind of longer than usual, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Choice Center. Have you ever heard of it? Have you ever gone? What do you think of it? Do you think it's a cult? What are your thoughts? And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. This is Monica reporting to you live from a highway. Bye.